continue our coverage on the passing of Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi. Let's get your reaction now from the Congress of Traditional Leaders of South Africa. Joining us, the Council's General Secretary, Zolani Mkiva. Mr. Mkiva, good evening to you. Thanks for your time tonight on News at Prime. So firstly, let's kick it off with your reaction to the news of Prince Buthelezi's passing.
Good evening to you as well as the viewership of Newzroom Afrika. CONTRALESA wishes to express its deep felt condolences to the Buthelezi clan, the Zulu royal family, the Zulu kingdom, the people of South Africa at large, as the news that we have heard early this morning on the passing on of Nkosi Mangosuthu Buthelezi. We dipped the flag of the institution of traditional leadership in honor of the son of the royal-blooded family of Zululand. We, as the Congress of Traditional Leadership, we say it is time for South Africans to hold hands together and reflect on the positive aspects and the contribution made by this son of our country. And at the same time, the objective in terms of his humble deliberations over more than 5 decades in his public life in South Africa. We are actually saddened that we hear this kind of news. This is one of the senior leaders in the country, the longest serving public representative, who had a belly, who had a fire on his belly in many respects. And therefore, we are truly saddened, as I indicate, and our word of condolences go to his direct family as well as friends that were close to him.
Mr. Mkiva, what role would you say he played, particularly when it comes to the recognition of traditional leadership in this country, whether in the formal sense, having that sort of embedded into government structures and ensuring that, you know, it looks the way that it does today, with some of the perks that come with it?
In his own way, Prince Buthelezi was an organic intellectual who believed that he needed to actually empower himself with education, even though the education was embedded on European culture. But he said to himself as well as his people that they must study that education to get the Master of Arts in order for them to ensure that their own heritage is not left out but mainstream. So on the education side, he is someone that is being looked up to for having imparted on the traditional communities and the institution of traditional leadership the notion that it's important for people to academically strengthen themselves in order for them to have a way of looking at issues of society systematically by using that education. That's one aspect of it. Secondly, his politics were combined with the fact that he always mainstreamed the importance of the institution of traditional leadership. But also he was very stubborn in terms of his political ideology. And at times, he would defend it against all odds. Well, he was consistent in terms of what he stood for. Whether you like him or you don't like his politics, he stood for those politics until the end of his political career when he passed on. As you know, and as we know it today, he is amongst the first crop of members of Parliament of the new dispensation. He was 95. He was the eldest in Parliament. That tells you a lot. Also, he played his role in the apartheid era as a chief minister, but also we have grown to know him as one of the longest serving traditional prime minister of one of the important kingdoms in Africa, the Zulu kingdom. He served that kingdom, and he served 3 kings in a row. You know, so he has made history for himself, but he has taught many people that the importance of the institution of traditional leadership is very key when you build a nation. Of course, even us as CONTRALESA, we differed in terms of the method, but he respected the role that is played by CONTRALESA, even though we used to differ on the strategies and tactics of how these matters need to be handled. So we will always remember him for standing for what he believed in. But of course, as I said, he's intellectual par excellence. If you look on each and everything that he issued for the public consumption, he paid attention to detail. Statement issued by him is well written. He was good on a pen. He may not have been very meticulous and articulate in terms of public speaking, but when you read his written text, you would see that this is an African who has an intellect and who was intentional of what he stood for. Take it or leave it, love him or hate him, but he stood what he stood for.
All right, CONTRALESA General Secretary Zolani Mkiva, we'll leave it there for tonight.